Welcome to week 1. This week, the first thing you'll notice that we're learning about, what's the difference between a job and a career? Well, a job tends to be, think of it as something where you have a specific skill set that's needed. Many of us had a job starting out or when we were young. It might be working at McDonald's, it might be babysitting for your next door neighbor. But a career encompasses, it could be several jobs within a career field. So your career field is allied health. So when you think about jobs, you want to think about transferable skills because as we discuss later in this course, thinking about interviewing, you need to be able to sell yourself. What skills and assets and traits do you bring to the table that are valuable to an employer? You have to remember that an employer is paying the employee. So they want to know, what return am I getting on my investment? So during that interview is when you can sell yourself. This week, one of your assignments is to develop and create a personal brand statement. Some people call this an elevator speech. It means let's pretend I was the CEO of a hospital and I met you in the elevator. You would need to have a short little commercial ready to sell yourself. I always tell people, think of it as maybe on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you have a short description of yourself, really short. And of course, on social media, it's probably more personal, and your personal brand statement would, of course, be 100% professional. So, for example, if you met me in an elevator, and I were in your shoes, I would say, "Hi, my name's Melissa. I'm a really dynamic, highly organized, very dependable employee. I'm very passionate about the healthcare field and helping people. So I'm really excited to launch my career in allied health and use some of my transferable skills that I developed in other jobs to launch my new career." So you see what I did? I worked in things about my previous jobs, transferable skills, that I was organized. This is where you want to talk about skill sets, dependable, professional. You can also speak about certifications or any education that you have. So as you look at that assignment, your personal brand statement, you want to make sure that you're focusing on the personal brand that you want to develop about yourself. There are many steps to the assignment and you can read through that, but I kind of wanted to give you an overview of what we're looking for. So it's just a quick 30-second commercial, how you sell yourself, your education, what you bring to the table, and why an employer should be interested in hiring you. The other assignment this week, you're looking for a job posting. And I want to make sure that you understand this part. You are going to go online and look for a job posting in your field. So if you're in the medical office administrator program, you're going to look for a job posting for a medical office secretary or medical office administrator. They can be called different things and still mean the same thing. But basically being the face of the office, sitting at the front desk at a physician's or a hospital, checking people in, scheduling, collecting payments. If you're in the billing and coding program, I want you to find a job posting for a biller and coder that would be applicable to your scenario. So imagine yourself as you graduate, you need an entry-level job. You're going to find this job posting and share the URL and talk about what skills the employer's looking for and what skills you bring to the table that match that. Now here's the really important part that you need to focus on. That job posting is what you're going to use for this entire course. So even if the job is filled or you're a long way away from graduation, that doesn't matter. But let's say you find a job posting at Dr. Brown's office and you are going to gear your applications, your practice applications to that job application. You're going to gear your thank you note and other assignments in this course towards that job application. towards that job posting. So make sure you don't find a job posting that's listed through an agency or that's anonymous, because you need to be able to have an address and things like that. So it'll make sense once you go into that assignment, but I just wanted to give some clarity around that and make sure you know that's something you're using over the next 6 weeks. So as you learn more about this week, really focusing on the 5 phases of your job journey. So 1, how do you prepare? Well, everything you're doing in this course is helping you prepare. Number 2, preparing your resume. As I said in my welcome video, you need to make sure that you understand you're probably not going to submit a resume and it'll be perfect the first time around. How this will work is I will give you feedback and things to consider, some things I may ask you to implement, and then you turn in the assignment again. And the goal is by the end of this course, you will have a resume ready. You'll be prepared. You'll have a resume that speaks to your skill sets, to your background, your experiences, and unique things about you. So developing the resume is a really important part. The next step is applying for jobs. And you'll see in future weeks, you're going to connect with our career services team. And that's a really instrumental part of this course because our career services team is going to help you find jobs that interest you in your geographic location. So you'll have assignments where you have to show emails between you and the career services team, showing that you've connected and planning for the job application phase. And then you'll also have some practice applications to do as well. You'll also focus on interviewing. We have mock interviews, which mock just means practice. Practice answering questions. We've built into this course what we think are sometimes stumbling blocks for people in their interviews. Sometimes an employer might throw you a question that's hard or that you're not prepared for. So we've tried to think of those types of questions to prepare you, because we know that if you think through it, you plan, and you prepare, you'll be more successful when you're responding to those questions. Some of those things are, I've had people ask me, tell me why you think you're the person for this job. Because you will have developed that personal brand statement, you will be able to answer concisely in a really simple, short, professional response. And then the other thing you'll do is really learn about networking. How are you going to connect with future employees? Networking is so important. You never know who you're going to meet. So by having your 30-second commercial about yourself and just sharing with friends, with family, with colleagues, with neighbors, you'll develop a LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is a social media that's used for professional purposes. And all of these different things you're doing in this course will all come together and make sense. But they do hit one of the 5 phases of your job journey. So I wanted to impress upon you how important it is for you to be proactive instead of reactive, meaning that you show initiative. You take the steps because you need to be the one to follow through. And really all of these good habits that you're developing in this online course and in this online program, these are transferable skills. By you being responsible, dependable, professional, writing with proper grammar and good spelling, all of these things will make you a better employee. So sometimes when you think, geez, why do I have to do this? You'll hopefully remember all of this is preparing you for your future career path. The other thing I would say is really stay positive. That's so important when you get a job and you start working on a team. Think of all the jobs you've had. I think we all have worked at a job where we might have one person or a few that we really don't care for. We don't go to jobs to make friends. So you need to remember that the employer is looking for people to be positive and professional, and you really need to be able to integrate into a team. I have worked with individuals who bring so much talent to the table. They have the skill sets, they have the proper credentials, they have all of the education and experiences. But if you're lacking professionalism or being able to work well with others on a team, then sometimes that can be the kiss of death at a job. You know, I used to teach elementary school and junior high, and I was a school principal before I moved into university life. And there's a book called Everything I Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. That is so true. What is the main focus of kindergarten? Learning to play well with others, get along with others, and just to understand that being part of a team is all about compromise. So think about personal relationships that you have. You know, if you live with anyone, you certainly have to learn to compromise. Family members, maybe a spouse, best friend. So when you're on a team and in a job, you can't always have it your way. And at the end of the day, if an employer wants something done a specific way, even if you disagree, as long as it's not a moral or ethical compromise, you really need to focus on how can I be that team player that's going to promote and be positive and be goal-oriented and be professional. So I hope that if you have any questions this week, you'll reach out to me, and I look forward to connecting with you on the discussion board. Thanks so much and have a great day.